Hi there, you're at the Solana's Wyckoff session, and last week we talked about is Solana's price heading towards an upwards of the distribution, or is it just an LPSY and the price will eventually dies down? This week, even though the candlestick is very long and red, but the volume isn't very high, so there's a chance that this is just temporary. Hopefully that it is if you're a bull. Finger crossed for you. If you're a bear, let's wait and see whether the volume will catch up. And according to the Wyckoff pattern, as of this moment, I'll tag this as an LPSY. The hope to UTAD, the upwards of the distribution, hasn't disappeared yet. Reason being this yellow upward channel. This candlestick is still well within this channel. Just that because it has entered between the light blue level, $180, and the $150, the green one. These two key levels over here. And if it continues to stay within this range, you can see it's entering this triangle. And what happens would be, it either finds sufficient demand to go above this 180 again and retest the 210. Otherwise, it has to come outside of this upward channel and find support at 150, and hopefully it doesn't come to 125, because 125 was the sign of weakness level both in June as well as in March. So if it really comes down, this is a very likely level that it comes back to. If it doesn't, well, if it really comes down to here, it better find support, because looking back what happened in 2024, April, July, and September, 3 times this level was tested and then eventually it found support going to the upwards back in November. And now it has tested it one time during March, second time during June. Would it test it here in September and then show us an upwards of the distribution? That's a possibility. That means it wouldn't go all the way following this yellow channel anymore. And one more indication is this momentum seems to be falling flatter. So especially this wick, this long wick at the head of the candle, with this high volume, there's quite a bit of selling when the price gets close to this blue resistance line at 210. So big picture isn't very positive, but not entirely like end of the world scenario, because the selling volume doesn't seem to be that high. So 180 seems to be the range or the level that people are comfortable with at the moment. They're still testing where to find the support. So hopefully there's still 2 days, a little bit more than 2 days left. If the candlestick comes back up, the body comes back up leaving a long wick, that's a good sign for the bulls. If it doesn't, if it comes down to test the green, there's still a chance to rebound along the yellow box, but it has to break outside, either above the resistance to stay in the box, or outside the box to find a stronger support at the green level. That it's going to happen either within this month or first week of September, first 2 weeks of September. So that's weekly, and now we're moving to daily. Daily. Last week we put in these tags. So indeed, it happened very quickly. The automatic reaction was actually here. It finished on the day we had our last session. So if we look at the line chart, we see that low point here. So instead of an upthrust, that was a very low. I don't even think that's a second test. It's almost like a last point of supply to me. and then now it's coming down. I would say maybe it's trying to show us a sign of weakness. So let me bring this back over here. There was a sign of weakness point. There were two actually. It's going to be a very busy chart over here, and now we're getting near to another one. If this is really a sign of weakness, good news is there will be a rebound. It may not be high because right there is the blue key level of 180, and that's the sign of weakness scenario. If it doesn't have a sign of weakness, that can happen as well. Then in the absence of sign of weakness, it will come first test the green line and eventually to the yellow. So last time back in June, not very far history, just a little bit more than a month ago, the selling climax was at that yellow line key level. That's at around 125. So if I drag it over, the yellow line is 125. So that's the scenario 2. Good scenario for the bears, not so good for the bulls. And looking at the volume bars, they're very consistent. All this selling, it seems it is gaining momentum, not gaining, at least keeping momentum without dropping. So you see they're at a pretty consistent level. There's still 6.5 hours left for today. Right now there's a little tail with this candle. If it stays above or stays like that, that's a relieving sign for the bulls, because it is not going crazy yet, because there's a weaker support level at around 165. You see these peaks over here, right? This LPSY as well as this period before the climb to the buying climax. So that's why the price is finding a little bit of support at this level. But if it's really losing demand, this level wouldn't be able to hold the price very long, because the stronger level would be at this sign of weakness and backup and last point of support period. That's the green line, and also you see the PSY also has provided some support, so it's better than just 2 point. That's the simple thing, right? So here, the picture for the bulls, not optimistic. For the bears, we might have already made some gains. However, if it is really a sign of weakness, do expect a little bit of a rebound, even though it may not be high, because if we look at the weekly, it's going very deep down to here, and it may go further down to test the green before it has a rebound. So in the daily, it may exhibit similar behavior for a deeper dive. But if it's going to trade a bit sideways, then in the daily chart, we might be able to see a little bit of rebound to the light blue key level of 180. So that's how I see. Okay, let me shrink it. Yep, here, the light blue 180. That's a little bit of rebound over there. It can happen in the daily. Even the weekly is falling because it's a lot of things is going to happen within this bar over here in weekly. So that's the picture for Solana. Hopefully we'll have some positive picture in when we come back next week. If not, we already understand